I was waiting for my friend Robin at the door of the Zola Lieberman Art Gallery in downtown Chicago for an art opening. It was Renaissance inspired art with equestrian and court themes. A lady walked in and said, "Oh my God, there's a severed penis in that painting." I turned to the painting as she pointed to shape of kind of a stylized testicles and a truncated penis. I didn't know what to say. Later, the same lady came by a painting that Robin and I were standing in front of, and she said, "Oh my God, it's another severed penis." I told her that as I had more time to think about it, I realized that she was comparing a horse penis with a human penis. Plus, many of us have never seen a normal penis because of circumcision. I told her that if I ran into her a third time, I'd tell her a joke about it. I think of an art opening as primarily a social occasion. Most of us don't know what we're looking at. It's easy to tell a story to people about something they know nothing about. Some people were there to see art, some were coming to support the artist, and we all see things completely differently and have a unique perspective. I didn't see the lady for a third time, so I didn't get to tell her the joke. But if you listen to the end of this video, I'll tell you. Welcome. Welcome to Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Coffee Hour, we talk about lots of different topics, including the Lord, awareness, politics, and even fashion. Some of the topics we talked about recently include healing yourself and healing your mind, sushi and hamburgers, self deportation, and making dog owners very angry. At church on Sunday, the readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Job. In the end, we will only have eyes and ears for the Lord. And from Thessalonians, don't be so quickly shaken or alarmed. The gospel reading was from Luke. God is the God to all the living, not the dead. To him, all are the living. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was by Dean Randy Hollerith. Randy preached about Jane Goodall. She was interested in the living and dedicated her life to bringing light into the world. Randy said that during an interview he had with her just 10 days before she died, um, she told him that she had a dream as a young person about moving through a crowd of people. And suddenly she came upon Christ at the crucifixion. She said she was very close to him, and Christ spoke directly to her. She didn't know and couldn't remember what he said. She told Randy it really didn't matter what he said because she knew she had been called. He called her to work for positive change in the world, no matter how dark our time is right now. 10 days later, after the interview, Jane died at the age of 91. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out what they said, what they meant. All that matters is that we've been called and we can do something. At St. James Cathedral here in Chicago, the sermon was by Stephen Balke. Stephen said that during the Second World War, Stalin had intelligence that Germany was planning to invade the Soviet Union and that Japan was going to bomb Pearl Harbor. Stalin thought the intelligence was all nonsense, and he never shared the information with the Allies. Stephen said, can we even imagine what the world would be like if we actually believed what we profess? It's a trick we play on ourselves and others. We can't do this because of that. Our disbelief drives the narrative instead of sharing what we do have with others. We separate out those so we can help the others. It's our way, not God's way. At Cathedral of the Holy Name this Sunday, they placed the host in people's hands as they told each participant, "You become what you receive." I was struck by the idea that in the Protestant church, communion is just a symbol that's so ingrained in our minds that communion basically represents nothing. But in this moment at Holy Name, it was Christ himself. We live in the not yet reality of the postmodern world, putting the interloper in the throne that only Christ can occupy, in order that the interloper can preside over the chaos of the world. Protestant and postmodernism have really done a number on us. Politically, the government shutdown is about to end. The New York Times said the Democrats lost, and now Trump is even stronger than ever. Shutting down everything in order to accomplish one thing, it didn't work. Shutting down the funding of air traffic controllers, food stamps, and government jobs to extend healthcare credits instituted during the pandemic as an emergency measure didn't work. It extended benefits to millions of Americans, and that's a laudable undertaking, but not at the expense of shutting down everything else. Constitutionally, it's about keeping the government running and doing your job. Not every laudable undertaking deserves to be undertaken or accomplished. The new mayor of New York, it has everything to do with his ability to do the job and nothing to do with him being Muslim. We can look at many topics that would have been infiltrated by the interloper to preside over all the chaos. Poverty is about Black people, abortion is about women's rights, and shutting down the government is about healthcare. In fashion, this week, Sarah Thornton in the Financial Times says that boobs are back. In her article, she says boobs' primarily function and purpose is to hydrate and immunize babies. During the pandemic, she would have been called an anti-vaxxer for even suggesting the idea of natural immunity. Sarah goes on to ponder the gap between looking good and trying to please someone. Also, the idea that men can pay compliments to both men and women because they're the arbiters of beauty for everyone. In the topic and realm of awareness, when you strip away fashion, politics, and even religion, we're left with, well, hopefully, we're left with some awareness, the awareness of something more. Protestant made the something more a symbol, and postmodernism made most everything else about the not yet reality of clamoring for the something else of social justice. At Cathedral of the Holy Name this Sunday, they did. They said, "You become what you receive," as they placed the communion host in people's hands. The idea that Christ is actually here right now. I guess that's the good news. We can be in that reality right now. I didn't run into the lady at the art gallery for the third time, but the joke I was going to tell her was about the priest and the nun traveling across the desert on a camel together. When the camel collapses and dies, they find themselves left in the desert to die themselves. Before they die, the priest asks the nun, he said, I've never seen a naked woman. Before I die, can I see what one looks like? The nun lifts up her robe and gives him a look. He's very appreciative. Likewise, the nun says the same thing. I've never seen a naked man before. When she sees the priest's naked body, she shrieks, What is that? The priest says, well, it's the giver of life. And the nun says, well, stick it in the camel, and let's get out of here. We don't need to look for the answer today or figure it out. We just need to do what we can do. Don't worry about the thing you don't have or can't do, but focus on what you do have and what you can do. And we can all get the hell out of here, out of the reality of postmodernism and we can step into the God's reality of God with us today and forever. If you would like to join us at coffee hour, I will include my email in the description of this video. Be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.